You've probably heard it before, maybe even today. Mom, I'm bored, or maybe it's more like Dad, there's nothing to do. At first, it seems harmless. But then, you notice something else. Your child jumps from one activity to another, constantly seeking something new, yet never satisfied. They get restless, frustrated, maybe even irritated when there's nothing instantly entertaining in front of them. Now, think back to when you were a child. Do you remember spending hours outside, making up games, building forts, or simply staring at the clouds? There was no endless stream of videos, no instant entertainment at the tap of a finger. And yet, somehow, boredom never felt like a crisis. So what changed? Why do so many kids today seem unable to tolerate even a moment of boredom? The truth is, boredom isn't the enemy, it's a crucial part of brain development. But in today's world of constant stimulation, kids are losing the ability to sit with their thoughts, explore their imagination, and create their own fun. In this video, we're going to dive into what's really happening in a child's brain when they say they're bored. We'll explore why boredom is more common today than ever before, how technology is rewiring their need for constant entertainment, and most importantly, how parents can help their children turn boredom into an opportunity for creativity, growth, and self-discovery. Let's start by understanding why kids today experience boredom so differently than past generations. Not too long ago, boredom was a normal part of childhood. Kids found ways to entertain themselves building things, playing outside, inventing games out of nothing. But today, something has changed. The moment a child feels even the slightest boredom, the first instinct is to reach for a screen. And why wouldn't they? With just one tap, they have access to endless entertainment videos, games, social media, constant stimulation. This shift didn't happen by accident. The digital world is designed to keep kids engaged and entertained at all times, feeding them content that requires no effort or imagination. Instead of coming up with their own fun, they can simply scroll and consume. And the more they do this, the harder it becomes to tolerate moments of stillness. But it's not just screens. Today's children also have busier schedules than ever before. Between school, homework, extracurricular activities, and structured playdates, their time is often planned out from morning to night. There's little room for unstructured, creative play, which is where some of the most valuable childhood learning happens. When kids don't get enough of this, their brains become conditioned to expect external stimulation, rather than learning to create their own. And here's where the real problem begins. When children are constantly entertained, their brains don't develop the skills to handle boredom in a healthy way. Instead of seeing it as a chance to be creative or explore something new, they experience it as frustration, a state of discomfort that must be fixed instantly. But what's really happening in a child's brain when they feel bored? And why is boredom actually a good thing when handled correctly? Let's explore that next. Boredom feels uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. When a child says, "I'm bored," what they're really experiencing is a moment of mental stillness, a gap between activities where their brain isn't being constantly fed new information. And in today's world of instant entertainment, that stillness feels unfamiliar, even frustrating. But here's the interesting part. When boredom sets in, the brain actually starts working harder. Instead of reacting to external stimuli, it shifts into internal problem-solving mode. This is when children start using their imagination, creativity, and critical thinking skills. Studies show that moments of boredom activate the default mode network in the brain, the same system responsible for deep thinking, self-reflection, and innovation. However, when kids are used to constant dopamine hits from fast-paced digital content, their brains expect immediate gratification. Dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, is released every time a child watches a new video, wins a game, or receives a notification. This creates a cycle where the brain craves more and more stimulation, making slow, unstructured moments feel unbearable. Over time, children who never experience boredom struggle with focus, patience, and creative problem-solving. Their brains become wired to seek fast rewards, making it harder to engage in activities that require sustained effort like reading, building something, or even playing without structured rules. But here's the good news. Boredom isn't something to fear. In fact, it's something to embrace. The key is helping children learn to sit with that discomfort long enough for their brains to activate creative thinking. So how do you know if your child is struggling with boredom in an unhealthy way? Let's go over the warning signs parents should watch for. Not all boredom is the same. In fact, boredom can be a great thing. It sparks creativity, builds problem-solving skills, and encourages kids to explore new interests. But when a child can't handle boredom in a healthy way, it often leads to frustration, restlessness, and an inability to engage in meaningful activities. One of the first signs is constant stimulation seeking. If your child immediately reaches for a screen the moment they have nothing to do, it could indicate that their brain has become dependent on external entertainment rather than developing internal creativity. These children often say things like there's nothing fun to do, even when surrounded by toys, books, or activities. Another red flag is difficulty focusing on slower activities. If your child gets easily frustrated with reading, puzzles, or even playing with toys that require imagination, it may be because their brain is wired for quick dopamine hits from fast-moving digital content. They might start a task and abandon it within minutes, looking for something more exciting. Watch for irritability or restlessness when not entertained. A healthy response to boredom is exploration. Kids find something new to do. But if boredom leads to complaining, whining, or even anger, it could be a sign that your child hasn't developed the ability to regulate that discomfort. Another key sign is lack of self-directed play. When kids struggle with boredom, they often wait for someone else to provide entertainment, whether it's a screen, a structured activity, or an adult guiding them. This can indicate difficulty with independent thinking, which is a crucial skill for problem-solving and creativity. Recognizing these signs is the first step. The next and most important step is teaching children how to handle boredom in a way that benefits their brain development. Let's go over practical strategies to make that happen. Boredom isn't the enemy. In fact, it's one of the most valuable experiences a child can have if they learn how to use it correctly. The key isn't eliminating boredom, but rather teaching kids how to navigate it in a way that strengthens their creativity, focus, and problem-solving skills. One of the best ways to do this is by normalizing boredom. Instead of immediately trying to fix it, parents can shift their response. The next time your child says, "I'm bored," try responding with, "That's great. I wonder what you'll come up with." This helps them see boredom not as a problem, but as an opportunity. Another powerful strategy is reducing reliance on instant entertainment. This doesn't mean banning screens completely, but rather creating moments of intentional disconnection. Encourage tech-free times like during meals, before bed, or for certain hours of the day so children relearn how to entertain themselves without external stimulation. Encouraging open-ended play is also key. Activities like building forts, drawing, storytelling, or using Legos allow kids to engage in unstructured creativity, rather than just consuming pre-made entertainment. If your child struggles with this at first, provide gentle guidance. What kind of story could you create? Or how many different ways can you use these blocks? The goal is to help them think beyond the obvious. Introducing slow, focused activities is another way to rebuild attention span. Reading, puzzles, or hands-on projects like crafting or gardening teach children patience and sustained engagement. If they resist, start with short periods and gradually increase the time, helping their brain adjust to slower-paced experiences. Most importantly, lead by example. If children see parents constantly reaching for their phones when they have a free moment, they'll learn to do the same. Showing them that boredom is a chance for thinking, reflection, or creativity sets the foundation for healthier habits. By practicing these strategies consistently, children develop the ability to sit with boredom, explore new ideas, and strengthen the cognitive skills that will benefit them for life. But before we wrap up, let's go over the key takeaways and a challenge for parents to try at home. Boredom isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. In a world where kids are constantly stimulated by screens, structured activities, and fast entertainment, learning how to handle boredom is one of the most valuable skills they can develop. It teaches patience, creativity, independence, and resilience, skills that will serve them well for life. Let's recap what we've covered. Today's children experience boredom differently because their brains are wired for constant stimulation. The rise of digital entertainment and tightly scheduled routines has left little room for unstructured, self-directed play. But boredom isn't a sign that something is wrong, it's actually a signal that the brain is searching for engagement. When handled correctly, it can spark innovation, curiosity, and deep thinking. The key is helping kids reframe boredom. Instead of seeing it as a problem, they can learn to view it as an opportunity to explore, create, and challenge themselves. Simple strategies like reducing reliance on instant entertainment, encouraging open-ended play, and modeling boredom as a natural part of life can make a huge difference in rebuilding their ability to focus, think deeply, and engage with the world in a more meaningful way. Now, here's a challenge. For the next week, don't rush to fix your child's boredom. Instead, encourage them to find their own solutions. Limit passive screen time, introduce creative play, and see how they respond. Share your experience in the comments. What changes did you notice? And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Child Mind Health for more expert-backed insights on parenting, child development, and mental health. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video that could help your child thrive. Let's raise a generation that doesn't fear boredom but knows how to use it to their advantage.